Here we are, another Friday Night Live, January 6th, 2023. And another Friday Night Live. And we have some sound. We got today's a full moon and Epiphany. Anybody knows what that is? My parents growing up in Italy, they didn't have Christmas. They had celebrated Epiphany for gifts. La bevanda. And if you were bad, you'd get big charcoal, which I got one time growing up. I must have been a really bad kid. But yeah, the full moon, it's full moon Friday. A lot of strange things happen on the full moons. You can dry them, you can dry it out. And you got that strong pull, that energy of the moon, the very strong pulling energy. As you know, the moon cycles, what is every 28 days? Very interesting stuff. When you look at all the cycles of nature and the universe, you know how precise they work. Absolutely precise. And we're still getting mild weather. I think it's going to be cooling off though. What are we getting here? We're still at 1 degree. Yeah. Yeah, this coming week's going to be a little cooler. But, unusually warm weather. And we take it with open arms. Though I enjoy it cold, the short spurts of it, not weeks on end and months on end of the cold. It's nice to put ourselves through the stresses of the cold weather. Natural stresses. Just think about the Inuits, or the what's that tribe in Siberia? They live in that extreme cold weather. Pretty interesting. Be exposed with that cold all the time, having to use a lot of energy to keep yourself warm, keep your home warm, or whatever you're using for a home. You got to use a lot of energy to keep that warm. And the body will use a lot of energy to keep warm. So we can go and do the cold dips, but if you don't have a way to warm up after, it's not going to be pleasant. Unless you can sustain it mentally. You continue to draw warmth to yourself. You know. Passing away in the cold, I guess you just shiver and just maybe fall asleep. Marcone. Instead of getting, like burned to death, and that'd be pretty horrific. Freezing to death, I think, you'd feel less as you get numbed out by the cold. But either way, a natural death in your sleep would be much more pleasant, or it's time to go and close our eyes and we're off. When it's time, it's time. How's everybody doing? Now's a great time to focus on the fasting lifestyle. You know, we it's going to find not much interest in people actually living a lifestyle, fasting lifestyle. All the interest is in eventing and drama. That's nature of mankind. Hey, Billy. Yeah, it's we're looking for drama stimulants instead of tapping into that the plasma love always flowing, the purity of the divine creator, continuously having that strong relationship within our hearts. It's a whole different ballgame when we build that relationship versus just going on stimulation of anything and everything. That's what the internet's about these days, right? Information overload multiplied many times over. We have so much information at our fingertips now. It's an overload, and it affects people for sure. In not a positive way. It's going to affect us in a negative way. We're being bombarded by all this energy and different information, blah, 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 blah. So we have to really be able to build our field strength and not take on all these different negative energies, because otherwise it's not going to be pleasant. And we've seen outcomes of what happens with people. It's not pleasant. So build that relationship with the creator so you can decipher where you want to put your time and energy. Because if we're always putting in negative stuff, it's not going to be fun. When you have that enthusiasm of wanting to, heal because you've been living in misery, pain, misery, and suffering for so many years, and you have that enthusiasm, that you get that drive. That's very addictive. That's a place where we want to maintain and sustain ourselves. Keep that youthful, drive. Just think back when you're growing up, as a young teenager, going through the teenage years, you have that drive, that strong desire. I don't see it as much in the newer generations that have grown up on computers. We were always playing outside as children. My parents, they had to keep calling us and calling us to go inside and eat. Who's thinking about food? We're outside having a great time with our friends in nature. Last thing on our minds would be food. Right? That we got programmed into having to eat at certain times over and over and over again. And then, excuse me, and then it becomes ingrained in our being that repetitive cycle of eating becomes ingrained in us. And we end up with all kinds of addictions and so on and so forth, like we couldn't leave the table until we finished our plate. So, I finished off everything. Oh boy, those were the days when you can eat anything and everything and nothing fazed you. Yeah. Until it catches up. And then bang, it hits you like a brick wall. And we fall into different sorts of ailments and whatever, and pain and suffering, not fun times. But we can all turn it around. And for those who are lucky enough to gain this information and jump into it before they get into pain and suffering, my goodness gracious, how fortunate to have the information available to live and love it. There's many parents went into raw foodism and so on and so forth, and brought their kids up that way, and juicing and everything. And then when the kids grew up, they went completely into junk food and so on and so forth. Many cases of that, because as we go out in the world, we're influenced by everything, and everything gets tempting, and we fall into traps. But some of them stick to it. It's it all depends what experiences we came here for, what our soul wants to experience. So embrace it and jump for joy. The pain, misery, and suffering is not that fun. It's beautiful when we come out of it and look back and say, whoa, that's where I came from. And I don't really want to go back there. It was not pleasant, but the experience of coming out of it was amazing. So I'd like to stay where I am now and continuously improve. And this is where MFS shines, Master Fasting Lifestyle. The less is more lifestyle. It shines where we can choose, our level of obstructiveness. How obstructive do we want to live? How obstructive? Or how not obstructive do you want to live? That would be a better way. We need to choose our levels so that it's something that we can look forward to as a journey, instead of every whatever amount of years do an event and then go back to where we were in pain and suffering, and then repeat those cycles. Some of us are going to go through that, but when you have the information available that we have, most people will stick to things that they've learned and hold on and use the information that they've learned, so they don't go too far whack, and that's the key. And you keep growing and improving with the information that we've learned. Anybody got any questions or suggestions, inspirations they want to share? Hello, Barbara. How are you doing? Can't see you, can't hear you. So we're in very interesting times now. And enjoy every moment. It's the only time we have is now. Beautiful times. We a lot of revelations of many things are coming forth. Information is being revealed on a daily basis. What's been going on the last 3 years or so. So it's lots of wonderful hope that we have, and let's stay focused on these transformative times, because this is the life we have. Let's enjoy it. Let's try and put a smile on somebody's face every day, and play in nature. Expand your creativity, do things you love to do. Fast, pray, meditate. Take in the beautiful warm sunshine. Enjoy the moonlight, full moon today. Got a lot of strange things happen to full moons. It's interesting. You know, when we're in a low field strength, all these powerful energies, you know, they affect us in weird ways, and that's why you see strange things happen, right? See really strange things. Just ask any police that you know, or people that work in hospitals, and they'll tell you the full moons, all kinds of stuff, all kinds. Just embrace, allow, and all is well. Can't force things. Force never works. I was saying at the beginning, we're in the 6th of January, you know, which is Epiphany, and a full moon. And we're also in the middle of Mercury retrograde. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I had the alternator in my car was acting up for the other day. Didn't seem to be charging, and then the next day it seems to be charging now for a couple of days. Very strange things like that happen in Mercury. Allah, happy plasma love always flowing to everyone. Absolutely. It's very strange things happen in Mercury retrograde. I see this, the voltage, and I go and check the calendar. Oh yeah. Good old Mercury, thank you. We need to just be patient with Mercury in retrograde. If you're having problems with your computer and stuff, don't go nuts, try to repair it. Just relax, maybe go take a break, 5-10 minute break. And sometimes you'll see everything will resolve on its own. Rebooting sometimes will help, but sometimes just give it some extra time. Trying to repair things in Mercury is not the best advice. If it needs to be, just thank Mercury for its energies and let it happen. Sometimes you need to fix something in Mercury. I've had that situation. You just do it. Make sure when you're buying things, you have a warranty. Good warranties. But yeah, we got lots happening today. Epiphany, full moon, Mercury retrograde. A lot of energy. A lot of energies. Feeling heavy, emotional, and maybe eating extra. Some people binge eating. We need to try to control as best we can all the different feelings. Breath work, essential oils, meditation, prayer. These are all going to help us. Our burnt stick, a beautiful little burnt stick. How many people had gave us testimonials just with a burnt stick? Is it burnt stick and used to massage acupressure points or your organs and glands? You do your thyroid, your nodes and stuff, and kidneys. Just dig it in. Dig it in. I got this piece of wood in Italy. Used to be longer, broke. Because I was using so much. Just broke. Just any stick, but if you can get it a little bit bigger, about an inch in diameter, or even bigger if you like, and then you can. What I did with a bigger dowel type of wood, I made one end more pointy and the other end round. So depending on how you want to massage a certain area, use it for when I'm doing colon washing. Works really well. Or use it on any part of your body. So yeah, just get hardwood would be better. You burn one end with a torch or any flame candle or stove, gas stove, or any source of flame, and that's it. And then the charcoal has that balancing field. We refer to it as plasma. Has a strong balancing field. That's why the farmers in the ancient times, and there's still farmers who practice. They burned their fields. When I was in Italy, and I was seeing some fields that just burn everything down. once the crop's done. And it allows, they call it for fertilizer, but it's more of, it's a balancing field that actually is, was what's happening. Bring balance back to the soil. I don't know if they do it every year, but you can look at the history of that. And then there was that article a few years back about that guy who, in Africa, I think it was able to store his tomatoes for many months in charcoal. Many months. Where he says, when they're harvesting them, everybody's selling them and you get a low price. So he found that he could keep his tomatoes for many months and then sell them when nobody else has, and you can sell them for a much better price. But so charcoal, and then there was something else with the charcoal. There's many things you can do. Somebody built like a shed with double wall of like chicken wire, and we filled it up with charcoal, and they would store their food in this shed. It would last longer. It's just charcoal, hardwood charcoal. Just get yourself some hardwood charcoal. This is hardwood charcoal. This is actually from Japan. Very, very hardwood. So I can't remember. It was a big piece that all broke, but it just has that wonderful balancing energy, and the color is just beautiful. It's a beautiful color. I don't know if you can, how good you can see that. I got a beautiful black charcoal, hardwood charcoal. Just make sure if you're buying like barbecue hardwood charcoal, it's got no accelerators, chemicals in it, just plain hardwood. That's what you want. There's many different types out there. There's people showing how you can make charcoal. I've watched a few of those videos. Anyway, nobody's got any questions. We will call it a night. Let us pray that mankind snaps out of this deep sleep and we start all living in a peace, balanced, correct conduct way. Treat our fellows, brothers and sisters, in a beautiful, godly manner, and enjoy this beautiful life experience. Because we're going to leave this physicality sooner or later, and it's always good to be in that ready state and be content with your life, and all be well. So thank you so much for joining us. We will see you back on the page, and then we'll see you back on Wednesday, Facebook Live at 3:06 p.m. Standard Time next Wednesday. Alrighty, ciao for now.